Alright, so we're going to make Nonna's ham hock and lentil soup. First we're going to heat up our pan with a little bit of butter. Let that melt. And our first step is to saute some diced brown onions. It's about 250 grams. We're using an induction pan today, but you can do this on your stove top. Just have your pot going on high. Put onions in. We'll saute these off for about 5 minutes until they're nice and soft. A little bit of colour. We're going to add our ham hock. Now we've cut into the ham hock with the knife just to help penetrate to the bone, so it'll speed up the cooking. So we're going to place our ham hock in. Now this ham hock's been smoked, and we're going to add about 2 litres of cold water. So we're basically going to poach this ham hock now for a couple of hours. We're also now going to add our vegetable stock powder. This is about 50 grams. You can put as much or as little in as possible, up to you. And we're now going to put a lid on. So if you wanted to, you could put this in the oven and bake it for 2 hours with a lid on, with an oven-proof pot, or you can just do it simmering on your stove for 2 hours. Cool. Okay, so we've been poaching our ham hock for about 2 hours. You see the liquid's got a lot of colour. And now we're going to remove the bone. The meat should have fallen off the bone. Now any meat that you want to add off the bone, you can simply just tear off the bone on the side. There's another bone in here. Now this is a rustic soup, so you can actually take out all the bits of meat and dice them up at this stage. We serve the skin, everything. And then we'll add it back to the soup once we've shredded all the meat. A little bit left in the pot is fine. So now we're going to add some lentils that we've been soaking for about 2 hours. Some diced carrots, it's about 250 grams. Some diced celery. A little bit of sugar. Or you could just use crushed tomatoes. But if you're making your own sauce at home, give that a little bit of a stir. Now we're going to simmer this now until the vegetables are cooked. We don't want overcooked vegetables or overcooked lentils so they start to go to a puree. That's why we don't put all of these items in at the beginning. So we're going to let that simmer, I would say about 20 minutes to half an hour. While we're doing that, we're going to shred our meat and then we'll come back to finish it off. Okay, so we've been simmering our vegetables for about half an hour. We've chopped up all the meat off the ham hock and we're going to return that to the pot. It's all nice and flaked. All the vegetables are tender. So what we do in my home is, my 2-year-old grew up on this dish, I think from about 12 months. He loves it. But Hugo loves to have risotto or a small pasta inside to make a bit of a heartier dish. So you can cook your pasta separately and you can have your soup, and then you can just add as much or as little pasta as you like to have a heavier dish. Or instead of pasta, you could have it with a nice crusty bread. Just turn this off. And then when you're serving, try and get a little bit of everything. And this will freeze perfectly. If you want to make a batch like we have now, probably about a dozen serves, you can freeze that and then pull it out of the freezer later on. It'll last a month in the freezer. It'll last a week in the fridge.